Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Woo, welcome
Let's go.
back, traders. And
I like a poke.
surprise, we are back, baby, with Nio Stock Technical Analysis. And I wanted to come back with a vengeance here because Nio Stock, I know I've been getting comments, I've been getting multiple people saying, where are you? Why don't you cover on Neo Stock anymore? It is simply just because things have happened in my life that have drawn me away. But also because Neo Stock has been doing a whole lot of nothing in the last 4 months, 3 months, right? Ever since October, when you just absolutely landslided with Bitcoin and the rest of the risk on asset market, you've been seeing a lot of fear and uncertainty within the market around Neo Stock. And I wanted to clarify that for you guys. I wanted to do some due diligence and show you guys an honest picture of what Neo Stock looks like right now. Because genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, this thing looks freaking disgusting. And so before we jump into the technical analysis, I just want to say thank you guys. Slap the subscribe button and let's jump straight into it because there's a lot that has happened and that is going on this chart, guys. So pay attention, right? Neo Stock, you have done something finally, right? You have finally done something of importance here on the chart, and that is you formed this three rising valleys formation as well as found a bounce off of your pinnacle trend line formation, right? From the bottom here, and then the double bottom right here, right? 1, 2, 3. And then your fourth tap at the bottom of the falling wedge that we drew up back here, right? And we identified this as soon as you saw this rejection candle, although it sucks, right? Nobody wanted to see it. You did come down here. You filled the gap sitting at 450, one of the largest technical landmarks left on this chart. And you filled it, right? From filling that, you saw a disgusting, crazy move, right? Up almost 8% on the week. And in doing so, guys, traders, this is the most important thing. You are crossing and finding momentum out of this wedge while crossing your weekly RSI band. Now, this is getting me kind of excited. In fact, it's getting me kind of jacked, right? It's getting me everything, all the words. You can see here on the bottom of your screen, your RSI, right? Look at where you were when you crossed this previously, right? We're just going to put a vertical trend line. This is where you were. You crossed it. You saw an 11% week, followed by a 12%, followed by a 12%. So I do expect coming out of this falling wedge, paired with some positive market price action, for Neo to absolutely crush it, guys. I really, really do. And I like the opportunity here to potentially average down and to strike along. So in seeing this, right, and looking at where we are, we're finally seeing that cross. Theoretically, right, last time you saw that cross, in the span of 14 days, you saw 54%. Let's just take that pike, right? Let's take that flagpole. Theoretically, that same move takes you to a lower high, sitting right around $7. So pretty big move for Neo Stock there. But what I'm more interested in are the technical landmarks that you left along the way. But before we get into that, guys, if you already weren't subscribed, do it. All right. I want to give a quick shout out to Neo Investor on Twitter because he had an absolute snipe with the VRVP. VRVP stands for Visible Range Volume Profile, and that pretty much gives you guys the most traded landmark of the entire chart. Now, we've covered it before, but TradingView is kind of silly. It only lets you get in that if you have premium TradingView, which I don't care to. So you can see here on the chart, your VRVP was sitting exactly at your point of control at 445, or that gap fill pretty much right around 450. Now, what you did was you came all the way down, you tested your VRVP, you tested your trend line, and you broke out, guys. You freaking moved. And so now we're watching for the rest of the stock, right, to make a bigger, more important move on the macro. From this micro move in the weekly, you can easily see this whole momentum slide down, switch in the blink of an eye, right? And one thing that we love talking about on Nio, we love talking about that juicy freaking macro, guys. This thing is bound to give tendies. And I say that because you look at your 3 white soldiers candlestick pattern, 3 white soldiers candlestick pattern. What that is one of the strongest market reactions to a bottom, and you had it on the monthly. Not only did you have it, right, but you had it in the most bullish time frame that you could have had it off of 3 rising volume bars. Now, from that, you created this falling wedge. It makes sense now, right? The pieces and the Legos are starting to fit together. Why your volume was so piss poor. You saw 4 months, gradually a full quarter of decreased volume. Woo. And then now you are finding that bottom. So what you want to see on Nio Stock, you want to see volume, guys. You need to see bulls step back in with conviction here at the bottom of the wedge and get you back, right? You need to get back above 560 because 560, although not your point of control, is a level that we speak with such conviction and passion for, as you can see how the stock reacts to it, right? Just on a micro picture, just zoom in with me. What was the level that you bounced to before making your local high? You made a hammer candle. Your low wick was 560. What was the mark that you rejected before coming deeper into the wedge? Oh, your top wick was 579. So there's clearly a pretty substantial amount of resistance and support. And the more you zoom out, guys, the more you see it, right? You see the rejection at 560, rejection, blast through, fail to hold, rejection, trade above, rejection, right? And that goes all the way back to IPO. But that is the level that we're watching for before we get into these crazy price targets like 963, right? 771. I want to see 560 break and hold. All right. Getting into the daily time frame because it's going to be important, right? You're beginning to see some volume flood back into the stock. You're outside of your falling wedge on the micro time frame, but it's going to be important, guys, that you fill these gaps. You have a gap sitting now at 454, so be careful, right? You could easily come back, retest the wedge, and then lift off, right? You could see the rocket thrusters come into play here, but the gaps and the levels that I'm watching to the upside are 550. I'm watching for 659, and then I'm watching for 711. Those 3 gaps, right? Oops, I did not mean to do that. Those 3 gaps are going to be imperative to what the stock is going to do next. Because if you come back up here, make a lower high, very possible, right? You do have this established trend line that could potentially send you into a channel further, right? Although no one wants to hear that. But my thesis on Nio Stock, when you zoom out on the macro, I think the volume profile looks too nasty not to be a factor here. And I think on the macro, right, not to get you guys excited because this is only a thesis, you have a pretty solid argument for an inverted head and shoulders pattern here in which if you're able to break whatever this channel is, right, you have the opportunity to come back, retest your channel, and to have this inverted shoulder, head, shoulder. And the profit target from that, guys, let me remind you, because we've spoken about it here before, is pretty gargantuan. But I would expect a crazy volatile move getting above 771, right? A weekly close, which we have failed to do above 771, would send this thing flying because you have been in a trading range for over 2 years. 2 freaking years between 771 and $3, right? It is time. It is time, guys. And I'm going to loop that into my next conversation. Slap the subscribe button. It is time that we get into IWM because IWM is what could be the catalyst to take you higher, guys. Genuinely, look at the chart. You're making constant all-time highs. And if you can see and feel the conviction and the passion I'm speaking with, it is because of just how good IWM looks. Because when you look at the last time that Nio Stock ran, guys, the last time you truthfully saw a crazy run on Nio Stock, I will pull it up, guys. New plane. All right. Get rid of the RSI. And why do I have that vertical line there? Oh, why? Oh, wow, right? This was Nio Stock when you went parabolic. That is when you broke your flat top resistance and you went parabolic on IWM. You left a gap. The whole rest of it was history, right? You went from $20 all the way up to $60 in the matter of months. What are you doing right now, right? So you broke your flat top resistance, came all the way back, spring tested it, and now you are in this up trading channel, guys. And what did you just do? Well, you formed a bullish flag or consolidation pattern, and now you have your breakout candle, right? And not saying that we're going to go straight to the moon, guys, but it genuinely looks nice for a test of this 290 level up on the upper echelon of this channel, right? So I'm genuinely excited that the bottom may be in on Nio and that IWM could be the catalyst to finally seek volatility in the risk on assets market. Never mind, right? The fear and greed index in crypto, 6 is crazy, right? I think that reflects just how much burden the economy is taking on right now. But IWM looks mighty fine, guys. It looks strong. So in case of risk on assets, I'm still bullish, right? You still have this weekly RSI cross, and you still are going to get, in my opinion, or you're beginning to get nasty volume coming into the stock. Look at that break, right? And I know we've been talking a long time about Nio, but I just get so excited. Look at the break of the volume on the weekly. Very, very strong sign of a bottom. Now look at your weekly RSI beginning to curl back up and find strength, guys. Last time you got that curl up was, you guessed it, 340 at your bottom before you shot up to 8. So I'm jacked. I'm excited. I hope you guys are too. I hope you guys are having a wonderful freaking time, right? Just in general, find something to be grateful for. And I'm grateful for you. So slap the subscribe button. God bless each and every single one of you guys. And remember, guys, the best is yet to come. Let's go. Woo! Memberships, $199.